Greetings to my team of 144, all Starseeds, Loveworkers, and Wayshowers. It is 620-2019. Thank you for gathering with me today. I'm all charged up. This is it, brothers and sisters. This is it. The new codes coming in fully now. More downloads coming into the field. Some new codes came in after I connected with my divine sister of light of the Cherokee Nation, and her name awakened certain codes within me as I learned to pronounce her name, and she is part of our team of 144 that will be gathering here in this realm to uplift all of humanity. And at the end of this, I will allow one of my Native American guides to come through to transmit the frequency of her name, which yesterday, as these deep codes were coming in, her name became a mantra to me, and transmitting it out into the field will help all humanity with this awakening process. I want to also at the end, yesterday, my angel kitty of light with the gold eyes came back to me. So I shot a quick video. I'll put that at the end so she can transmit her loving Lyran frequencies. So I'm going to try and be as clear and concise as can be, seeing that we are moving into spatial time spaciousness, and I might jump around a little bit because there's several things I need to cover, because there's many things that may be causing confusion or conflict in the community of Lightworkers. Many people have come to me in the last few days, and I'm seeing these energies ramping up the last few days, because with these solstice energies coming through, there are going to be gatherings and much light and energies coming into the community of the Starseeds and Lightworkers. So the dark is doing their last pathetic attempt to keep people down, and a code came through, and this might be just for a couple people, but the 444 connecting with the 3013, the 3013. So that may resonate with some of you. Now I want to clarify, because there is a collected attack on what people are labeling New Age community, and there's certain entities out there that are trying to label my teachings and what I'm transmitting as New Age. And that's fine, call it whatever you will. But there's this concerted effort that the New Age is teaching deception and lies. I just want to clarify, and it was Jacques Fresco that said the problem with language is that it isn't open to interpretation. Now I know most of you are clear on what I've been transmitting and understand the teachings, what are coming through, but for those that may still be in conflict or fear or doubt about the shift that we're going through, about the Ascension, I'm going to clarify several things here. Now, those that call me New Age or that I'm part of the New Age movement, what I teach and practice are ancient traditions and ancient teachings, ancient practices. I've trained with Buddhist masters and Taoist masters. In the Buddhists, we say that it is a mind-to-mind transmission directly from the original living master through the living masters. And when I talk about the team of 144, my whole life, the team of 144 were in the celestial realm with my guides, teachers, ascended masters. I had many Native American guides and ascended masters like Saint Germain, the angelic realm, Archangel Michael, Crazy Horse, Black Elk. There's been many masters, Lao Tzu, Buddha, Yeshua Christos. Yeshua is who I would call, as a teacher, what humanity calls Jesus now. That name was converted by the Jesuits about 400 years ago. That J, the I was converted to a J. It was the swerve, it was the curve. It was a way to mislead people. And these are some of the deceptions that the dark propagated to keep people in confusion. Because I teach the same thing that the living masters taught, that the kingdom of heaven is within you, that you are your own master. Now some people may claim that I might be claiming, I don't claim to be a master. I'm just a humble servant of life, of humanity. I'm a simple monk transmitting from my heart center the best that I can to all of humanity through this medium. So I've received transmissions directly from lineage of Buddha, from Lao Tzu, from the native nations, the Native American, from the medicine tribes. I walked the medicine way for several years. 6 of the nations that I have very deep connections with are the Cherokee, the Navajo, the Ojibwe, the Blackfeet, the Blackfoot natives, the Lakota Sioux, and the Hopi. Back in around 1984, 85, I was about 11, 12. I went to Hopi Nation, to the Hopi reservation out west with a friend and his parents. And it was the first time that I connected with the native nations. I always had a connection. When I was a child, my grandmother used to buy me this magazine called Ranger Rick because I always loved nature. I always loved animals and wildlife, and Gaia is my twin flame. And in one episode or issue of Ranger Rick, there is an artist named Bev Doolittle. I'm sure many of you have seen her work. She's an amazing artist, and she paints images with mostly Native Americans. And there were prints of her paintings of shamans. She would have like a shaman with a bear outfit, and the reflection would be a grizzly in the waters, and there'd be like images of Native American tribes on horseback in front of the mountains, and in the mountains would be hidden like images of different animals. And I would stare at those images for hours, and I would put them all over my walls in my bedroom and look at them every day. I always resonated with the shamanic traditions and the Native American traditions and cultures and teachings. I was able to meet Bev Doolittle back in around 2005 or 6 at a gallery, and I gave her a Native American flute. I used to make Native American flutes, and it was a maple flute with a horse head at the end and a totem with some inlays and carvings, and I was able to play it for her, and it was an amazing moment in time. When I went to the reservation, I was about 11 years old, and I was able to dance with the Hopi tribe, and I'll never forget there was a young Hopi native that he was wearing like eagle wings. They were on his arms, they were like wings, and he would do a dance, and the shadow from the sun on the ground, the shadow looked like an eagle soaring, and I was totally hypnotized and mesmerized by that. And I've had many connections with the Native American tribes. I went in around 2000, went to a Ojibwe medicine man and did healing ceremony with him, and then did sweat lodge ceremony with his people. And that was an amazing experience, a very healing and transformational experience. So the team of 144 symbolizes many things. The 144 is the code of the crystalline DNA, of the crystal. Now, the team of 144, we are manifesting in the physical from the celestial. So I am calling my brothers and sisters of the light in this realm that we are connecting, we are gathering. I am calling them my team of 144. We are part of this team, and many of you listening to this now are part of the team, and part of this team is resonating with the Healing Retreat Center in Ecuador. Now, I don't know this concept since I've talked to my Cherokee sister of light. It's Awaken New Codes about the gathering, about us, the Rainbow Tribes gathering. So I'm working on these transmissions that I've been receiving and many things about gathering. She sent me an email about the solstice gathering. So happy summer solstice. These solstice energies are coming in. As of recording this audio, tomorrow is the solstice, the 21st, Friday the 21 energies. So depending on when you're listening to this, have an amazing and beautiful solstice. So also with this concept of the gathering, what came to my awareness yesterday was the 7 sacred seals, the invocation of the 7th seal through Gene Key 22. And the Gene Keys is a book that is basically the Western interpretation of the I Ching, which is an ancient book of China that I've studied for many years. The I Ching, it's I and then space Ching. It's pronounced Yi or Yi. I Ching, it's 64 codes, which coincide with the 64 codons of the DNA strands, the double strand, the 32 and 32, making the 64. And this is an ancient book. Some predict over 2,500, maybe 3,000 years old. And that's where the yin and yang concept came from. The solid line and the broken line. So this gene key 22 is all about gathering. The quality is gathering. And it's Ray 7, angelic frequency Zafkiel, and it is grace in the star Sirius. The wound is the world wound. The light is luminescence. The I Ching line is all lines. The subtle body is the monadic. And the prime teaching is suffering is grace. And the gurus will say it is the great suffering that brings us closer to God. Not that you need to suffer to awaken, but many of the masters and living teachers went through great suffering to return to full awareness, full awakening. And also the 144 is the yugas in the Hinduism, in the Kriya traditions, who was from the living master Babaji. And I have a deep connection with the Kriya Yoga tradition. I've done some training in that art. And I also came into this avatar on the same day as Sri Yukteswar, who received the teachings of Kriya from Babaji, the living teacher, living master. And that was on 510, where I chose to inhabit into this realm and bring with me the codes of the void, the codes of the space in between the codes, the energy of the void. On 5/10/1973 is when I chose to bring the code of the stillness, the code of the silence into the avatar, into the DNA. It is the silence in between the sounds, the stillness in between the notes, the still center, at the center of all things, which is everywhere. And that, if I could teach one thing, that is, all things are perfectly resolved in the unborn mind of Buddha, which is the still white magnetic light at the center of all things, or what I call pure awareness. So in this teaching of the yugas, we are in the Kali Yuga, which is basically the end times, or the end of linear time. And the first hand is 144 centuries, or 144 times 1,000 equals 144,000 years is one yuga. And that's part of the Hindu tradition of the yugas. A yuga has 12 periods, or 144,000 times 12 equals 1,728,000 Earth years, which is a Satya Yuga. The Satya Yuga is divided into 4 periods. 1,728,000, ratio 4 equals 432,000 years is the Kali Yuga, which is what we are living in now, which many are calling the Revelation, the Apocalypse, the End Times. It is the end of the old false matrix, which opens up the doorway to the eternal bliss consciousness, to the new earth, to what people are calling the new age, what we are calling new earth, or the golden age, which is the age of awakening, the age of enlightenment, the age of full awareness. So one of these concepts of this deception awareness, or people claiming to be deceived, is something I'm trying to understand. It's because all the things that I transmit, even with the Star Nations, now the Native Americans have worked with the Star Nations for thousands of years. I was able to meet Chief Golden Light Eagle several years ago, and he's the keeper of the Star Nations, and he wrote an amazing book, which to me is one of the greatest written teachings, which is called Symbols. It's the symbols of the different Star Nations. And these Star Nations are just our brothers and sisters of the light. They work with us. They work with the living masters. Now, this isn't something that myself or any teacher claims to worship these beings, and this concept of the Vatican inventing like AshTar command, many people are sending me the video about that, and other things about the New Age deception and all these concepts, and I'm trying to clarify for many people that are in doubt about this. And I'm not here to convince anyone of anything, because all of these things that people are in conflict about or are in debate are part of the simulation. They're part of the illusion. It doesn't make it a bad thing. What it does, it distracts people from finding that kingdom of heaven within, finding that truth. So I teach a meditative art. I teach a practice, what some might call the rainbow body practice. We call my Sifu that I train with, and I teach his lineage, his art, called Kunlun, Kunlun. It's one of the most sacred mountains in China. And our Sifu brought together many practices, many teachings to create his own lineage. And he is a gold dragon master, and we have another gold dragon in our lineage in the Kunlun. His name is Kan-san, or Kan Dao Shi, Kan. And you can see he was at the Icke Ranch and took some pictures of the Virgin Mary and Guan Yin. You could look up Kan, Kan, and Icke. That's James Gilliland's ranch, where people have many experiences with the sky beings out there. It's a vortex in the mountains. I forget, I think it's Mount Adams or something like that. And Kan is a Japanese man, a very powerful warrior in Japan. Kan-san. Kan Dao Shi works with the Andromedan nation, and he teaches them our spiritual art, and they teach him theirs. And they are the blue people, the blue beings, like Krishna in Hinduism. So one day when we gather, be it in Ecuador or any other place, I can teach you one of their arts on how to call on or call down the sky beings, the star nations. There's a certain technique, a certain practice that you can do. Basically, they can come down so far, you just have to meet them partway with your frequencies. If you're not experiencing the ships or the higher beings at this time, there is a practice you can do, which I cannot teach through social media, but I'll teach one-on-one or in person. So we're all on mission here. We're all being activated, and we will be gathering. I'm not sure if it will be in Ecuador, but these codes that are coming through from Shahana, the transmission, just from her words and her voice and speaking to her, is awakening certain energies. We are gathering in the celestial realms at this time, our team of 144, and very soon we will be gathering in the physical. So keep the faith, keep shining your light brightly into the night. Be sure to stick around to the end of this for an energy code transmission from our divine brothers and sisters of the light. Now today's transmission, deep from the catacombs of the Vatican. That's Heyoka coming in. We have to joke about some of these things that people take way too seriously. So part of this, the Dark's control mechanism, is to make you think that you need to rely on something else or someone else outside yourself. And all the living masters taught, and what I teach, is that you are your own master. I've trained many people in different arts, spiritual arts, and I always tell them, I'm not your guru. You are your own guru. I take you to the edge or to the gates, but you have to step through yourself. No one can force you through. That is the free will that you have. So you are standing now before the pearly gates. But in Zen Buddhism, we call it the gateless gate. The only gate is the mind. The mind that it lives in fear, the mind that lives in separation, the mind that is in disharmony or in conflict. But know that you can use that mind to leap, to make that leap of faith. You're on the edge of the abyss. We are at critical mass. We are at 11:59 and 59 seconds. When that hand reaches 12, that will be the full manifestation of the Tao, or the Great Spirit, what we call the Great Mystery. So you're right there at the pearly gates. It is up to you to step through those gates into the heaven that is within. As you close your eyes and go deeper and deeper within yourself, as you stand on the edge of the abyss, we are all there together, hand in hand, and it is up to you to leap into that void in full faith. The thing that keeps most people from jumping in or diving in to that void, to that stillness, to the 0 point, is the concept that you will lose yourself, or the concept, I understand that the void, that the emptiness, that the space in between the notes, in between the sounds, in between the codes can be a scary thing, because there's nothing to cling to, there's nothing to identify with, and you came into this realm in that pure state, in that pure awareness with no fear, but the programming of the Matrix converted that pure awareness, that pure love, the pure truth, into what we call the three hells, the angry demon, the frightened animal, and the hungry ghost. And it is those concepts, or the conversion of the light to those darker concepts, to those concepts of fear, that keep us from our total freedom, which keeps us from the quantum leap of consciousness into your full sovereignty, into your full awakening, into your full awareness. But those days are gone, those days are ending. That's the end of time, or linear time, or the prison of time, of the 3D false matrix, La Matrica. We are entering into the divine matrix, leaving behind, letting go of the false matrix, the past, the old, the negative. So you have the power to do it of your own free will, of your highest intent. And I know most of you that come to these talks or listen to these audios are here for that very thing, for the freedom that you desire. And there is no stopping us now, brothers and sisters of the light. Nothing can stop us. We are already there, but the mind makes us believe that we have not arrived yet. We have fully arrived, but it is up to us on an individual level to take that leap, take that step, knowing that you are fully protected, and knowing that you cannot fail. There is no failure, there's only lessons. You have learned everything you need to learn, you have suffered enough. Now we return to that pure state, that pure awareness of the pure love, truth, and light of the divine source, the great mystery. The transmission today from Rhea, our divine sister of light, Rhea Aurora Athena Ash. Beloved ones, my sisters and brothers, I come to speak to you in a 0 point of the now, within the centerfold of your hearts, to express many developments within your planetary sector that are taking place. Within your perceived linear now, there is much going on behind the scenes that it's best not to be placed in your awareness due to events that are out of your control, of free will and universal laws. However, I will express to you all that your corporations, your media, and other compartmentalized aspects of your governments and military are aware that there is a heavenly body that is moving towards your planet. They call it Asteroid 2006 QV89. We will stress here attentively that this asteroid is not an object that it is to interface with your planet. On the contrary, it is a galactic space midway station that is to position itself around a new elliptical orbit outside your earthly biosphere. Let us explain in your linear understanding. There is a time outside your matrix where a great war was taking place. In and around the solar system, the planet Marduk, Maldek, was imploding. At this time, there were many space stations that belonged to the federations that were placed in and around this planet Marduk, Maldek. At the time the planet was destroyed, many space stations were sent to the four corners of the solar system. One of those space stations was Chiron, as you will come to call it. Chiron space station was heavily damaged in the war and was placed into elliptical orbit around Saturn, Uranus, and your Sun. Chiron moves in a particular circular path orbit that crosses that of Saturn and passes just inside that of Uranus, within this quadrant sector of space. Chiron 1 was then occupied by our Federation and by our fleets, to become a midway point space station for the Federation in Quadrant 6, alongside Ganymede, Jupiter headquarters in Quadrant 4. After the Great War and your linear expression of time, as we occupy many timelines, as you understand, we are multidimensional and in 0 point. Chiron has now duplicated itself. Yes, duplicated to Chiron 2, becoming two aspects of itself, one physical and one etheric. The etheric ascended Chiron 1 will stay in its original orbit within the higher dimension of expression of self, as the solar system is ascending everything that ascends with it, and to a degree it will still be noticeable by your telescopes in its same orbit. However, the lower physical 5D Chiron 2 is traveling on its way to Earth now. You have been told by your scientists and media that an asteroid 2006 QV89 could potentially hit the Earth. This is not true. That was fabricated by the compartmentalized NASA, that is the NSA, and the European Space Agency. This is not the case, beloveds. Chiron 2 Galactic Space Station has a new mission, and many members of our Federation have been tasked with this new mission in support of Chiron 2, and it's a new elliptical orbit around your Earth. Your scientists and governments cannot hide this truth from you. In time, you will start to see this for yourself. As your planetary realm is ascending, we in the Federations require more midway point space stations within the orbit of Earth that positions itself along the galactic highway. For support, yes, it's getting crowded up here with our ships, as many of you wonderful hearts are taking wonderful photographs of our ships as you are ascending and raising your consciousness. Chiron 2 will become a new galactic midway point station on the galactic highway. So please, there is no fear. Allow yourself to use your inner discernment that is your heart, that is the 0-point key in understanding your planet. Your planet is ascending. It is not going to be destroyed. It is growing and giving birth to the most beautiful new reality and new timelines. And you, beloveds, are giving birth to this new reality and convergence of timelines. So look to the skies. Soon you will see Chiron 2. Obviously, we have a different name for it in light language, but for your earthly terms, we call it Chiron 2. So be on the lookout and remember to use your discernment to follow your hearts. Take what resonates and leave everything else behind that does not resonate. As you move into higher consciousness and higher awareness, you come to understand discernment and really truly follow your instincts with your heart. We love you all beyond measure. We are always with you. Stay in your hearts, stay in joy, stay in laughter, in love and unity, not division, and stay in discernment. All my peace and love. I am Commander AshTar. So that's from our divine goddess Sistar of Light, Rhea Aurora, Athena Ash. So I want to thank everyone for joining me today. Stick around for another moment here as I conjure up the energies for this quick code transmission. Many of us are connecting. I've had over 100 people that have contacted me that are interested in the Healing Retreat Center in Ecuador. We have 276 people on our CBD team. We're building a CBD business using a company called CTFO to raise funds for the research and development of this center in Ecuador. And we're connecting with many people down in Ecuador, which we're looking in the foothills of the Andes, potentially a place called Vilcabamba, which means the Valley of Longevity, where many people are gathering down there. Ecuador is the hub of the paranormal of South America, and the eagle is flying with the condor. The North and the South are coming together to help bring the rainbow tribes together, and that is part of our mission, part of my mission, and my team's mission. For us to gather. The gathering is happening of the rainbow tribes, and we are here for each other. So if you want to join our team, our CBD team, to help raise funds, you can go to cbdpeaceoil.com. That's cbdpeaceoil.com, and I'll put that in a link in the description below, and I'll also put a link to the Gene Keys book if you want to learn more about the different gene keys, the codes within the DNA. Now I'm going to go deep into the silence to transmit this code of our divine Cherokee sister through one of my guides of the native nations as I step aside and allow the energies to move through me to transmit to you. So quiet the mind, close the eyes, take a deep breath. Shahana Ojiside. Shahana Ojiside. Shahana Ojiside. Butterfly, daughter of the stars. She has come here on her crystal ark, on her crystal ship, in assistance on this mission of the ascension of Gaia and all of humanity. She will bring the rainbow tribes together as we gather on sacred ground in ceremony in the love and the light of the great mystery to uplift all humanity and all life into the highest realms, into the holiest of holies. The Great Spirit joins us in ceremony on these great days. Thank you, brothers and sisters of the light. We are the mystery ships. We are anchoring our codes from our highest self into the holiest of holies of all sacred spaces, all sacred land. So we transmit our codes, our frequencies into the field, into the realm. Now we'll end this with a short video of my angel kitty, my friend with the golden eyes that came to me in this time of need to transmit the Lyran codes and the love of the kitty nation, the cat nation, the feline nation. So thank you all for joining us here. I look forward to connecting with you in the near future. Namaste, brothers and sisters of the light. I love you all. Check this out, brothers and sisters of the light. Om Shiva Graksha Babajiyo. Here she comes. Here she comes. Yes, Angel. Give us the codes of the Lyran Nation. Give us the codes of the Lyran Nation. Come on, Angel. Yes, baby. Give us the codes. Here she comes. She's coming for the attack. Oh. Come on, Angel. Come on, Angel. Look at her. Oh. Can you hear the purr, purr, purr? The purr. Can you say something? Shadayananad.